Are you ready? Could the legend of Thelxie be true? Could we be really reliving the story of the entirety of Teyvat, the Traveler, and Paimon's story? Could Paimon really be a goddess? Will it even matter in the fucking end?
Hey, Fremine! Thelxie! We're here!
His name is Thelxie, not Thelxie.
Hello, Paimon. Hello, Traveler.
Hello, Firminate. Or as retards say it, Firminette.
Is the crown ready?
Yes, we're just waiting for Zuria now. She hasn't arrived yet.
Bring the damn child, I want to see
Let's
him.
wait for her a little while. Or actually, maybe we can go find her. It's not too far from here anyway. Didn't she say she just lives on the hill over there?
This is the big house with the one above.
Traveler, Paimon.
Oh, and speaking of...
Found you two at
Delaroche.
long last. I'm so glad that you both are all right.
Huh? Why are you here, Miss Delaroche? And what could have happened to us?
We never reported back. It's been
What
4
could
days.
have happened? That water imp Thelxie, of course. After I gave you that commission the other day, I began to get worried and went asking about the boy that went missing.
Yeah, we never came back for 4 fucking
that?
days.
We've got it all figured out now. The boy you heard about was just Fremine. Even the missing fish was his fault. Don't worry, we'll help you get the fish back as soon as we're done with this job.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, sorry about that. I've been diving in the area recently.
Head first into the fish.
Huh? Fremine? Diving? No, that's not what happened at all. I've heard a completely different account.
Oh, great.
What I was told is that about a month ago, a child tied a bunch of heavy seashells onto his body and walked into this open stretch of water. He never came back. What could that be if not that water imp's work?
Okay, that has to be her son.
Are you sure?
100% sure. I've confirmed the account with several veteran fishermen I know. The child was only 8 years old. His name was 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿.
Wait, 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿?
I knew it, her son was dead. There's no way
Yeah,
she'd be
that's
doing
the
this
name.
without him.
They say the family took on the name after moving to the city from a place called Stray. Anyway, his mother is a pretty famous art dealer, while his father passed away from an accident many years ago. Well, naturally, his mother was devastated by the incident and fell terribly ill. It's said that she left the court of Fontaine, and no one knows where she's gone.
I called this. I said it's going to be her going through the
It
loneliness.
can't be,
Because her husband
right?
and daughter and son died.
𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿? Zuria Destre? It must be some sort of a coincidence?
I'm sorry, miss. We've got to go check on something right now.
Oh, I see. Well, you go on ahead. I just came to make sure that you're both all right. I'll head back then. Please remember to take care.
Goodbye, crazy fishing lady. I called it. I was going to say, either she's going to be in it or her son's going to be dead. And like, yeah, of course her son's fucking dead. So she couldn't save him. Now she's making the book as a resolution. I mean, I knew how this was going to turn out. Yeah, but instead of, well, if we can't cure the son, well, no shit, we can't cure the son, he's dead. Even Firminate didn't know. Yeah, that's what I say last, but I was like, she might be suffering from loneliness syndrome. I don't have time to fight water creatures. Especially with a fucking double hydro animo team. Man. Oh, I told you the story was gonna be depressing. Well, maybe she can get a happy ending in the afterlife. Maybe her son will be the one. He died before. Maybe he'll come back as an
Excuse
mission.
us. Is anyone here? Is this Madame Destre's place?
Who are you? I have a patient here who needs quiet bed rest. Please leave us be unless you have anything urgent to report.
Who's the patient? Look, that motherfucker's gonna answer that question.
This is the residence of Zuria Destre, and I am 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, her family doctor. What did you mean by your question just now? Who else could be my patient?
Your patient should be Zuria's son, right? She told us herself that her son had contracted loneliness syndrome.
No, you're right. Young Master Lascaux did have that illness once upon a time, but he's... Well, the young master's no longer with us. And now the Madame has come down with the same illness. Are you her friends, by any chance? Oh. So, when she had requested time to go out over the past few days, it was so she could spend them with you.
How did she end up
So,
meeting
if I'm
Fran?
understanding this right, the one who's suffering from uncontrollable delusions is the Madame herself? She believes her son is still alive?
I mean, yeah, last part she kept referring to Thelxie over there as her son, like, right, my son, right, my son. And they responded.
That is correct. When the young master disappeared, she was organizing an art exhibit that she had specifically prepared for him. But since she had to leave the house, she was unable to see her son one last time. That might have been the trigger for her regret. Or perhaps the family's fall into loneliness and grief was inevitable as soon as the old master passed away. First the son, and then the mother.
Spiraling depression.
But how could that be? She really looked like she had a handle on everything. Her smile was so lovely, and she even told us to stay optimistic. But you're saying she...
People are happy when they're
Those
trapped in their
actions are
delusions.
proof that she can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Yeah.
Then all the other things that she told us about her son, were those fake too?
No,
They were real. but
those
he's
were
no
all
longer here.
real. Although they were all things that happened before the young master left us for good. Madame's time has just never moved forward since his passing.
I see. So after her son left, she created a fantasy world where her son was still with her. She was looking for a way to cure his illness when she ran into us.
So how is she now?
She has been in a good mood the past few days, even humming a song when she returned from her stroll. She even began discussing with me the idea of using deliberate guidance to ease the illness. It was all going well, until last night. She spent a whole night staring at the shell the young master left behind, and the words that he had inscribed onto it. Then she broke down once more. I prescribed some sedatives, and she's currently resting.
Interesting. So she can
But then what should we
interact
do?
with reality.
How can we help her? There has to be something we can do.
Don't panic, Paimon. Even though this is a devastating piece of news, we must all calm down first.
Like you being the voice of reason? You just finished the plan.
What should we do? I need to think. I need to remember the old house of the hearth and the children who lived in it. Those patients and what their doctors said back then. What if... Dr. 𝐿𝐴, have you seen
That's
a
a
picture
name.
book? The Madame should have brought it back with her.
Are you thinking about trying the guidance therapy she talked to me about before? It's worth
Probably.
a shot.
She's
I'll
basically
go get the book.
designing her own cure. What would have helped her son will probably help her too. Because if she
Yes.
helps her son cure herself,
is it.
the chain reaction, her mental state would be like, I cured my son, and then she'll get cured and she'll face reality. It's like a double thing. The thing that allows her to be cured of her delusion is curing her son. Since her son's dead, you gotta metaphorically cure.
That's right. If what Dr. 𝐿𝐴 said was true, the
Mm,
past
no.
few days have been very helpful to Zuria, so we should complete this journey. We need to show her that her child has found a happy ending in the world of her dreams.
But wouldn't that just make it harder for her to accept reality?
No.
One must first face reality before accepting it. The Madame has been crushed by her feelings of grief and can no longer bring herself to face reality. Our first priority would be to get her out of this state.
Right. Before today, I had thought she wanted to use Thelxie's fantastic adventures to save her son. But now, I think she might need it to save herself.
I'm glad everything I say is just repeated because I'm saying it first, because it's the obvious line of reasoning. But I was also impressed that they didn't like that they called it loneliness syndrome. I'm like, oh, I kind of don't like it. You know, they should have just called it what it is, like dissociative identity disorder. Like, that's what it is. I don't know why we got like sugar-coated like loneliness syndrome. Let's call it fucking DID, like did. Something like
And
what
if
it
we
is.
could complete it, we should be able to give her some feeling of inspiration and closure. Maybe those feelings would be enough to give her some courage to face reality again.
It's crazy that they try to tackle disassociation as a mental illness in the game. That's not one I thought they would tackle. Considering the last one was Salsa has like ADHD. We got Farina with fucking PTSD. Well, like, that's kind of implied. That isn't actually like, you know, they haven't shown it yet.
There's no time to waste. Let's set off right away.
I guess they kind of showed it with her acting. She didn't want to act. Weird that out of all the places, Fontaine has the most mental illness. At least the most direct engagement with mental illness. I think I said this before, but it must be something in the water. People are just unwell. At least we get to see the people who are on. I guess there's always characters who are like that in the game, but just an actual focus on it is kind of insane. It's good though. Makes the game more interesting when they tackle stuff like this. It's not something you see. Ever. I like it. Now it's time to eat some slime.
We're here again. This is the final part of Thelxie's journey, but the most important person is missing.
No goddess Paimon summoner. No, Thelxie's right here.
Everyone, please don't be so down and gloomy. Remember what she told us? If we were to feel troubled, the patient would become anxious as well.
You're right. Paimon needs to smile. If we have to give something to Zuria, it should be our smiles. We have to keep smiling as we finish this adventure.
That's right. Smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about.
And then she'll be able to recover, right everyone?
Nope, but she'll start the recovery process at least.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
Be careful, brave adventurers. Here comes the evil monster that stole the crown. Here! The deep-sea Cyclops. Let's beat them up!
She does the deep sea
Watch
slime.
out, everyone! They're coming at us again!
There's no use here. Prince Ellis looks stronger than ever today. He must be going all out.
Ow. How does he work again? Fuck. This is the final enemy. That's fine. Not my character.
The time beckon. Bow your head.
I don't know why I try to weave permanent tracks into the combo that has if I was gonna actually use the fucker. How does this work? Is it E and then his Q, or is it his E? I don't know. Like how the pressure gauge. His kid sounds fun, to be honest. It doesn't sound bad.
I'm sorry. I have to go. I made a promise to my friends, and I'm already very late.
But, Madame, you're still...
You're so neurotic from the sedatives.
Don't try to stop me. Today's the most important day for treating Thelxie. We'll use the guidance method. Didn't you also say that you'd think it'd work?
I'm not trying to stop you, Madame. It's just... Could you tell me the name of your child?
Dr. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, How can you forget the name of your own patient? His name is Thelxie. He's the prince of the kingdom of water imps. We will go today to reclaim his crown and attend his coronation ceremony.
I see. Madame, please rest assured, everything is still on schedule. Your friends have already departed to find... Wait, look,
Look,
they've already returned.
why is it so upset this up black?
Zeria, we've retrieved the crown!
Paimon, everyone, have you really?
Yes, but the coronation ceremony still hasn't taken place, because we felt like you should be the one to preside over it.
Wonderful, how wonderful! Thelxie, my child, are you hearing this? Everything you lost will now come back to you, and soon, very soon, you will never be lonely again.
And
You're
the
a real one
last
for that,
page of the
Thelxie?
picture book. It's still waiting for you to illustrate in color.
Right, the picture book. But I don't know what I should put on the last page.
She's like, I'm not good at art.
Don't worry,
World-renowned
Thelxie and his
artist.
friends all know what should go on it. Get ready, Zeria. We'll describe everything for you.
Okay.
At last, Thelxie and his friends were able to drive off the final invading monsters and achieve a dashing victory. Their
You know-
success was complete, and the recovered crown resplendent.
You know, she'd be one of the few people who was heavily susceptible to the Akasha dream worlds that the dudes built. Like the, oh, now it's a reality. You can be anything you want. Where they're having the dreams, they can transform. Absolutely, she'd be the type of person that'd be there.
The water imps, finally returning to their homes, showered the prince with love and applause as he greeted them. They once again offered their precious shells to the prince and reconstructed the rainbow bridge of old. As he watched the scene unfold, the prince could not help but be touched by its beauty.
Moved by everyone's happiness, the prince stepped onto the rainbow bridge and took a good look at all the friends who had gone on the journey with him. There stood the traveler, Goddess Paimon, Fremine, and... Huh? Where's the last person? The prince looked frantically around, but could not find the person he wanted to see most. At that moment, the person suddenly appeared on the other side of the bridge. She walked towards him with a smile and slowly lifted her veil.
The prince could not hold back his tears. He recognized then that the mysterious person that had been by his side
Right,
the
she has a
whole
veil.
time
That's why she had the doing
was
mask in the
none
pictures.
other than his mother. Zeria walked across the bridge and placed the crown above the prince's head. She smiled down upon him as she said, "My prince, my king, you shall never, ever need to feel lonely again."
That's the end of the story, Zeria.
It's his crown.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Oh, I forgot her name changed now. You got her phone there.
I am so sorry, my child. Maman should have spent more time with you. Did you hear the story? You'll never have to feel lonely again.
Thelxie, keeping it real out here.
Maman loves you too.
What a nice rendition for Thelxie.
What's happening? Is Zeria talking to Thelxie?
Now you got your Decipher, Caesar Cipher 1 in your head?
Quick, put on my diving helmet. There's a transcription module in it that's compatible with Thelxie's output signals. You should be able to use it to understand what Thelxie's saying.
Oh, he is telling her he loves her. Like I
Maman,
said,
Maman loves you too.
how does he know how to say that?
But I love you more, Mammon.
What?
What? Did you see something?
Mammon, I'm getting a little sleepy. If it's time for bed, can you hum a lullaby to me again?
Of course, my dearest child. As long as you want to hear it, Mama will always hum for you.
Thank you, Mammon. Your lullaby has always been my favorite. Now that I've heard it, I can return to my dream and to the kingdom of water imps in peace.
My poor darling. Please don't forget. I will always love you. My love is greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps.
I won't forget, Mammon. And so is my love for you. Greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps. Good night, Mammon.
I can't believe this helmet has built-in mental illness vision. That's kind of crazy. 3 days later, but fuck it. Oh, she got to see her son one last time.
Traveler, Paimon, you're here.
Fremine! Why did you call us in such a hurry?
Hurry, it's in
Did you
3
hear
damn
something
days.
from Zuria? Oh, if it's not good news, Paimon doesn't want to hear it.
Don't
See you
worry,
later, lad.
it's definitely great news. The Madame came here for a visit just now with her doctor. Color has returned to her cheeks, and she sounded full of energy as well. She said she'd like to return to the court to continue hosting the art exhibit. But this time, she'll work with her doctor to exhibit some picture books related to the illness. Of course, Thelxie's fantastic adventures and the guidance therapy will be included in the exhibit as well. She'd like to use her experience to help others.
That's wonderful! So it wasn't bad news after all.
Mm-hmm. Here, please take this picture book with you. The Madame wanted you to have it. If at some point in the future you were to run into someone with similar troubles, she hopes the book would be of use to you.
But this is her son's story, right? Is it really okay to give the book to us?
Yeah, why not?
Don't worry, it's just a copy. She
Oh.
still has the original. It's extremely important to her.
Thank God for the printing press.
Alright, then there's no problem. It feels good knowing we've contributed to something important. Paimon definitely didn't expect the fantasy adventure to be so useful. Paimon was a little worried about how everything would turn out. After all, fantasy is just fantasy.
Sadness was still a happy
Paimon,
ending.
do you know what the Madame said?
What did
She
she
said that at the moment when she placed the crown on Thelxie's head, she felt like she really saw something beautiful. Her child had returned, and he told her that he loved her. She also said that was when she was finally able to bid farewell to her son. She felt like at that moment, she was healed by some mystical power, and she was filled with courage from head to toe.
Oh, really? But could that just be another part of her fantasy?
Perhaps. But if fantasy is just fantasy, and the fantasy world is not real, then how could it still grant us these powers that we can continue to use in the real world?
Yeah, perhaps fantasies and fantasies. Oh, maybe those fairy tales do have power hidden deep in the world.
But what else could it be?
Hey, your dreams are
A
recorded in this
descent
world
of
for a
the
reason.
fairy tale world into the real world. At that time, the wondrous fairy tale temporarily became reality and influenced real things in our world.
Those who the wills are strong enough can
That
change
has
this
to be
world.
what happened.
Foundation of
You
it.
saw it too, didn't you?
Yeah, we literally saw it.
That can't be what happened, right? There's just no way. Wouldn't it be like a miracle if that really happened?
Yes. I suppose that would be a miracle.
Even in the darkest
I
places.
hope that
I
everyone
hope
who's
they
found
find
themselves in a
dark.
dark place would be able to see something beautiful and experience a miracle for themselves.
Oh, nice and positive. Can we look through it? Oh, we can't get Paimon narrating the fuck, bro. Anyone in a tough spot? Very nice. Wasn't expecting such a nice quest to go on with this event. It's a flagship event too. Wonder. Anything we can see at the top of the house now we know she lives there? Very interesting way to handle illness. Guiding therapy, seeing your child, the idea that fantasy, I wonder what the underlying principle of that's supposed to be. Because every time these events, even though they're small and people are like, oh, like the general story's there, it always ties in the overarching world. So now we have this story of Thelxie, this prince who came to a kingdom, was then granted by the inhabitants power until monsters take it away. And now we see that fantasy, underlining fantasy, that coincides with reality. Can come true in reality by a mirror. You gotta wonder if all the people who are theorizing the story of Tava, it's the story of Genshin, or it's the story of Paimon, a strong enough desire is enough. The sea goddess hath wrung his neck. Okay, maybe I was reading that. Sea goddess hath wrung his neck. Now, ding dong, hark, now I hear them. Ding dong bell. I didn't find the first one, so I don't exactly know what all three of those described mean. But for the most part, hear the nice flitter music in the background? Have a happy day.